So today I'm going to talk to you about how I decided my reader and text pairing. So my first book was Blood on the River. This was a 5th grade level. I researched it, and on the AR level, the Renaissance, it put it at a 5.3, which is 5th grade, 3rd month, so beginning of 5th grade, which my social studies, my unit was on social studies for 5th grade, so this was right at the level. This was my core book that I used in my text set. This is the main book that I used. I picked 5.3 because, of course, the students are in 5th grade, and so this should be right at their level. The Great Colonial American Projects You Can Build Yourself, I used the Lexile system, and it was a 1050L, which was 9th to 10th grade, which is quite higher than what my students are, their 5th grade level. But this book is kind of a do-it-yourself book. It's got recipes and projects and stuff you can build yourself. It does have passages in it, small passages, but this is a book that we would be doing together, reading aloud together, going over the projects and stuff together. So I picked this one because it, of course, had something to do with our text set, but also because students wouldn't be reading it independently. And also it was a book if students do read above grade level that they could enjoy, and it would challenge them a little. The next book is Who's That Stepping on Plymouth Rock? It was a Lexile. I used the Lexile system to determine what readability level it was. It was a 780L, which translates to a 3rd to 4th grade readability level. So this is the book that was just right underneath the 5th grade reading level. So I had a book that was right on their level, and then a book above and a book below. So the method I used to determine my students' comprehension reading inventory levels was the Informal Reading Inventory, or IRI. So this tool is administered one-on-one to students, between a student and a teacher, and it determines students' reading comprehension and reading accuracy. This categorizes students into 3 different levels, and they are independent, instructional, and frustration levels. An independent level means a student can decode words, 95% of them, and comprehend 90% of the text. An instructional level is where students can decode 90% of the words and comprehend 60% of the text. And frustration level decodes 89% or less of the word and comprehends 50% of the text. So independent level, this is where students can read on their own. They don't need any instructional help or teacher's help at all. Instructional level is where, just like it sounds, where students need instruction from teachers to be able to comprehend it clearly. And frustration level is where students just give up on reading and they shut down. So the spot where you want to be is the instructional level. That way you can challenge students and they can come up to independent level, and then you can move up to another grade level for instruction. So how you start is there are grade level words. So you administer the words starting at first grade. So you would start with copies of these words, and you will tell the students that you have a list of words that you need them to read, and they will start at grade 1. You determine what their reading level, what you're going to start your reading passages at, is by how many they miss. So the reading level that they should start at is when they miss 1 word. 2 or more words is where the students need to go back and start at that reading level. So the results, highest level that a student miss none is the independent level. Highest level where a student misses 1 word is the instructional level. And highest level where they miss 2 words is the frustration level. So let's say a student missed 0 words on a 4th grade level. That's going to be their independent level. A student missed 1 word on a 5th grade level. That's going to be their instructional level. And a student misses 2 words on a 6th grade level. That's going to be their frustration level. So you would want to administer instruction on a 5th grade level with this student. The next step is where you start your oral passages. So you determine this by your words from last student. So that student was on an instructional level of a 5th grader. So I started with the 5th grade oral passages. The first passages are fiction. So what you're going to give is a copy of this to the students, and you're going to say, I have some passages for you to read. You're going to read the first one out loud. If you find a hard word, try to read it as best you can and continue reading. It is important to remember what you read so you can answer questions at the end. Then you'll have the student begin reading, and you'll make notes of miscues or errors on the bottom here for scoring table for oral reading. Once the student is done and you've done the error sheet, you're going to take the passage away and then you're going to ask the comprehension level questions. And then you're going to make note of their answers, and then it scores them. It scores them and says what level that they are on. So then you're going to start the second part, which is silent reading. So the first one was oral reading. The second part is going to be silent reading. So you're going to do the same thing, tell them that they can read as best as possible, but instead of reading out loud, they're going to read it to themselves. After they read it, you're going to take the passage away so they can't use it to cheat or whatever. So you'll have them read it, and then you'll take the passage away and you'll ask them the comprehension questions, and then you will do the point system down here. You'll make note of how many they missed or how many they got right, and that's going to tell you their independent instructional frustration level. So you're going to continue those same steps with an oral nonfiction and a silent nonfiction. Going to be done exactly the same as how the fiction was done. And then you're going to analyze the results. So students should reach the frustration level in both oral and silent reading to find students' instructional level. A lot of times they will come to a frustration level in maybe the silent reading and not the oral reading. So you need to find where both of them are on the frustration level. And then your instruction level, what you need to do your text set is the student's instruction level, where they missed whatever put them in instruction level. So my students were in 5th grade instructional level, and that's why my text was centered, my main core text was centered at a 5th grade. Of course, you have some that score higher and you have some that scored lower, and that's why my text sets had some higher and some lower grade levels, so it would be able to challenge students in all of the class and students would feel comfortable reading. The end.